questions for me before we get started, and I'll see if I can't interweave them into my next level session, or if you feel like talking, I'm just going to go ahead and turn on the microphones. If you're in a noisy background though, feel free to leave them muted, but if you have a question, it's definitely interactive. I feel like I like to chat with people. So Ivy and Michelle, I see a couple people here. How do you have any questions for me right out of the gate before I get started? I don't see anything popping in. Don't hear anything.
If not, guys, it's okay. You don't have to have a question. It's not required.
Okay, awesome. No questions. We're good to go. Okay, so when we talk about blogging, one of the things that, well, first of all, let's just navigate over and find out where this is. When we go into the quick actions right here from your dashboard, blog posts are right here in the quick actions. You can access it here, or you can access it over in the web and IDX section and just jump right into the blogs. And I don't know if any of you, have either of you blogged before, or do we have any bloggers here?
Kelly, myself, I've actually, I used to blog quite a bit back before, I would say around when Facebook released about 10 years ago. So it's been something that's been around for a while, but one of the benefits I've known about blogging is that the search engine optimization that can come from it is actually quite a big portion of a lot of people's business. This is why people blog a lot, is because they get a lot of traffic to their site, at least from what I've known.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And, I always feel like if you can use any of the tools in kvCORE and repurpose them and use them in other places, wouldn't you think that has value? I do. I feel like anything that I don't have to, sorry guys, I don't know what the heck happened here. Hang on, I'm having a
party.
I know, it sounds like it. No, my speaker just went crazy on me. Okay, but I feel like anytime I can repurpose content, I'm going to. So I always share this thought about blogs, because I know a lot of people are like, well, I don't know what to blog about. I don't have any content. I'm not, I'm not that creative. I wouldn't know where to start. And my answer to that is always, don't overthink it. Don't overthink it, because you probably are already blogging. You just didn't know it. And when I say that, I mean that with all sincerity and all due respect. But whenever you post on social media, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's a post on LinkedIn, whether you're putting your, best tacos I ever had last night, we're over at El Ranchito Taco Shop on the corner of 5th and Vine, and you post a picture of that taco platter that you had, technically you're actually blogging, because what you're doing though, however, when you're doing it on Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter or any of those other social media platforms, is you're giving all that credit and all that SEO value in that content to that social media platform. So if you can just think of it this way, that your website, here, let me pull mine open so that we can pop right in here. When you're blogging, your website is really its own social media platform. I mean, it's your medium where you can start and be the source of truth. And so I always feel like if you're gonna have something really great to say, especially if it's something about real estate content, keep it on your website first and use that as the source of truth and drive traffic back to there. So for those of you that don't know, on your websites, when you start posting, your latest blogs show up in a widget down here at the bottom. So they're stored right here for you to see. They're also available up here in the agent section under the blogging tool. So whenever you create a blog post, this is where it's going to live on your website. So I've got a few, just test runs over here that I've been working on, but, and creating these blog posts, it's almost like having a place where you can use, it's almost like a custom page, but you're creating it in a link that can be shared out, right? So this is just one that I did, real quick and creative one. I did this one with Heather, and I put a couple of things in here, neat ways to, people that you meet in the buying process. So this might be a quick little blog that you did, and you can put photos, you can use photos, you can put video, you're really using the same editor that you are when you're creating an email template or even creating a custom page. So to find this, you're going to go over to the quick actions into blogs, or go over to Web and IDX and go to blogs here. And I'm so excited. Christian, did you know that we now save the links here? Ooh, Hooray!
No, I didn't actually.
Yes. So one of the things that we got as a big feature request from our users was the ability to go and have these links available so that they could share them easier out onto social media. So we're now saving these links right here so that you can just simply copy them and then go paste the article out onto your social media platform. You know, create a Facebook post it like you would a squeeze page link, and then it'll populate over on your Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, wherever you're going to be posting it there. And you can come back in and you can edit these. So you can go back in and you can update it anytime you want. And to create a new one, go back in here and create a new one. To create a new post, it's very simple. This should look familiar to you because it's almost like you're doing an email template or a custom page. And you can add in, you know, the best places to eat near, you know, whatever, this, and then insert your neighborhood. You know, this would be a good way to transition, you know, not necessarily straight up real estate information, but you know, something that's more lifestyle centric, or something that is, you know, has more of a broad appeal. Because when you're blogging, doesn't mean you can't sprinkle in real estate information in here. You should be. As a matter of fact, when you're adding this information in here, you know, insert your photos, put your photos in here, upload images. This is one of the few places in kvCORE where you can actually upload an image directly from your desktop, or you can browse for that image. So you can add photos. We have this source code right here. This is where you can switch to the source code view. So you can even embed video in here. And so if you sat in on Elisa's next level and open Q&A yesterday, this should look familiar to you because she demonstrated how to add this into things like custom pages, and it works exactly the same way. So if I were to go to YouTube and maybe I'm looking for content that I've created, or maybe you want to represent that local business and you're looking for, you know, maybe a video that they've created. Don't hesitate to, you know, use creative content that's in here that's on YouTube, because it is shareable. It's shareable content, and maybe you have some sort of connection with a local business owner, and you're promoting his, you know, local business of the week, and this is the place to go for the best tacos in town in, you know, this neighborhood or this area. And alongside his menu and his video that he's got, or content that you've created, maybe you insert, you know, homes for sale in this area, homes for rent in this area, land for sale in this area. You could create all sorts of squeeze pages and include those in your blog as well. Now you're peppering in kind of roadmaps that lead back to your website in a way where you can even capture leads. So if I just go in here and look up, you know, the best places for tacos, we'll just grab a video here. So maybe this is it. Maybe this is the place, or this one. This one looks good. This looks like yummy food, as a matter of fact. So just as a reminder, when you're adding in content and you want to share it, you want to include it in a blog or even a custom page. Now, normally when you're down here in YouTube and you're sharing, you share it directly out, either using these auto posters, or you just copy the URL. If you're doing a landing page and you're using this in a in that video plus view, you're only using the YouTube ID. But in this case, we're going to put it in our blog. So now I can go to embed, grab the iframe code, which is right here, and copy it. And now I can go back into my blog post. I can go back in here to these embed code right here and switch it over and paste that YouTube video in here. I can still add in content. I can put it above or below. I can create, you know, big giant headers to make the content stand out. You know, check out the best tacos in town here. And then maybe underneath it, you put, you know, a couple of, you know, thinking of moving to this area. Here's, you know, here's a link to the homes for sale in this area in a certain price range. And this is where you get creative and start adding in real estate content, you know, homes for sale in, and then, you know, whatever it is, we'll just put a zip code 92563. And don't forget, you can use hyperlinks in here as well. So maybe you just add in a quick hyperlink. And what are you going to put right here? Your squeeze page link. You can put a squeeze page link in here, or a direct link from your website. Now, one little tip that I will give you whenever you're hyperlinking anything, because we are trying to keep them stationary on your website, I always switch it over from current window to a new window. And that means that while they're looking at your blog, if they click on that link, it's actually just going to open the link in a new window for you. So keep that in mind. So you can add your URL link here, and now you've created a hyperlink for that. So even if this is all you're doing, I mean, you don't have to write 500-word essays every time you blog. A blog can be similar or the same type of content that's on a custom page. But when you're using the keywords in that are the right searchable keywords, and we talked about this yesterday, was these are the things that those bots search for when your ad or your blog shows up in somebody's search results. So make sure that you're putting, local content information in here. The more local and the more hyper specific you can be, the more likely your blog post is going to show up on somebody's search engine results. So don't underestimate the power of a good blog post. Now, the second question becomes, well, how often should I post? Because honestly, this is something I've never done before. How do I block time? Well, that's up to you. But in kvCORE, we have this feature in here called the publish date, where you can actually post these in advance. So here's my suggestion. If you find yourself running short on time, sit down, time block out, maybe an hour out of your Monday or Tuesday schedule, and sit and write 5 blog posts, maybe even 6 or 7, and then auto publish them so they go out in advance. You can knock out entire months worth of blogging. If your goal is to blog twice a week, do 10. And then you're set for the entire month, plus a little bit more to give yourself a cushion. Even if you're just blogging once a week, over time, that will add value. Now, here's another little trick. Consistency is key, but also repetition. So if you are wanting to repost or post these links because we store them, let me go ahead and save this. Because we store these, you can absolutely go in and copy this link at any time, and you can share it directly out onto your Facebook post. So, I'll start with Facebook. So if I were blogging about the 10 best places to have tacos on Taco Tuesday, I'm going to go into my Facebook page, and I'm just going to run a really great strong call to action. I'm going to put my headline here, headline about tacos. And then just like a squeeze page link, you copy the link to your blog, and it's going to populate. Now, if you have photos that are in your blog, they'll also pull in here. And as you can see, I didn't put any in here, so it pulled in my headshot photo that I have. And it's got this. Now you can put calls to action in here. You don't have to put the link in here. You could leave this as just a blank post, because another strategy is to start telling people, I am now going to start blogging about some really great exclusive content. Comment below if you'd like to be notified. Those are the kind of keywords that are going to create impressions, likes, comments, maybe even a few Facebook Messenger inquiries, things like that. So this is very similar. If you've been using squeeze pages, blogging should be the same thing to you. And if you create a squeeze page next time you do it, I really encourage you to go and check out, create a blog post for it too. Now, for those of you that are like, well, you know what, that sounds really good in theory, but I am, I'm always running short on time, and is there any way to automate that? Well, beyond using those auto posters, we do have a tool in the marketplace, and it's called Core Social. So Core Social allows kvCORE to do some posting for you. And I'm going to pull in the expert here, because I know that Christian is one of our resident experts on Core Social. So some of the benefits of that, Christian, tell us a little bit about some of the benefits of that.
Well, I think the biggest benefit is you get to be lazy. But really what it does is it just automates a lot of your social posts for you. And because of that, it's something that, like, you just set up, you forget about it, and you'll come back every now and then, but it's not something you need to touch on even every day. The idea with Core Social is it's just going to manage your media, your social media with Facebook and Twitter and the likes of that, to kind of promote who you are, your business, the content that you want to share. that's the cool part as well. And then it kind of just does it for you. Following that, you just set up the schedule, the types of posts you want out there, and then basically where you want it to go to, and that's all there is to it. Really,
I love the fact that it's very locally specific, and the content in there is created for that local presence, meaning it makes you look like the local area expert. And because, it is originally curated content and with a vast majority of articles, and some of them are real estate related and some of them aren't, I love the fact that it does it for you automatically. And it really is kind of a set it and forget it type add-on enhancement. So if you don't already have Core Social, it is something that you can purchase through the marketplace. I think it's like $49 a month. I'm not exactly sure, but it just requires I think it's a 6-month commitment to get started. Yeah, $49.99 for a monthly subscription. But social media presence is huge in this market, in this industry. You do have to have that ongoing connection through social media. So I love the fact that this is an offering we have, but even if you're just doing it on your own, you do have the tools to do it yourself. So, if you want to just, start adding in content of your own, blog posts are the way to go. And because we do store them on here, and we track a few things, we do track views. I'll tell you on my own personal website, interestingly enough, the highest viewed blog post that I ever had, I want to say it was like 2,000 or 3,000 hits on it or something. And it was, why is toilet paper at an all-time shortage? And you guessed it, I posted it, during the height of the pandemic when toilet paper was really scarce, and it created all sorts of content. It was a great source of content, and all I did was I gave credit to the author, and I found an existing article that was out there, and I used it and referenced it in my blog post. So one of the things that some of those search engine bots look for is cross traffic. So if you can, I call it cross traffic, I'm sure there's some technical term for it, but it's when you're linking out to another website, or when your website links to you, it kind of shows that you're more of a valid business and that you've got more of a valid presence. When other people reference your website, it builds up that internet popularity rating that we refer to as SEO. So your search engine optimization can be increased, and foot traffic can be increased simply by doing something as simple as this. And because you can do it in advance, there's really no reason not to just go in and set up some blog posts so that they're running pretty much on autopilot. Awesome. So so it looks like we've got a few other people that have joined in here. So quick show of hands, how many of you have used the blog tool? I'm just curious. And if you are a current blogger, I'm just curious to see if there's anybody out there that's a fellow blogger. I'm not seeing any hands going up. How many of you are going to try it now that you've had a chance to see it in action and see how easy it is? Emilio is, so's Ivy. Awesome. Ivy, I'm going to ask you to unmute for a second. Let's chat. Let's chat for a second. Do you have a microphone? Go ahead and just hit that unmute button. We'll see if she can turn it on. Maybe there's no speaker. If you have a microphone, go ahead and unmute for a second, because I want to chat with somebody. How about Emilio? You've got your hand up in the air. Feel free to unmute. Christian, is it me? Is everybody able to unmute? Maybe
we've got some
microphone.
shy people. Yeah,
that's okay. That's all right. So well, Christian, you said you used to blog. What are some of the topics that you found to be really successful or get a lot of content hits on?
So I will say there are probably some better ideas here than others, but events. If you guys are very involved with the community, in terms of, like, Kelly, a perfect situation for us. Remember the Del Mar Fair, right? Everyone hears about the Del Mar Fair, talks about it, goes to it. That's a local event that everyone loves going to. But also down to, like, news. Maybe you found some new information about how first-time buyers are being allowed a special government program or something like that. And following that, your favorite sports teams too. You can talk about, sports, life, food, fashion, anything really that's going to help kind of identify who you are. Blog posts, there's really, I would say, no right way to do them, as long as they're something that you invest time in, really just understanding what you're pushing out there. So with that being said, though, I mean, there's a lot of different ideas. I would just maybe pick something that you like, that you have some kind of information about, and maybe build from that. I myself, I am a big time cook. I love being a chef. I just don't want to do it 24/7. So because of that, I find some nice and easy to cook recipes, maybe something that might pique the interest of like somebody that just got that new home, or maybe somebody that's looking for a double oven in their house. They can bake, the cookies and have the meatloaf ready at the same time, so that when the family's home for dinner, everything's set up, and this is how you can do it. I mean, that could be the blog. Honestly, it could just be something about food. But
yeah, I think that the key to it, as you mentioned, Christian, is to find something that you like, things that you're passionate about, things that something where you're the subject matter expert. And as real estate agents, let's face it, we all know how to turn the conversation to real estate. So you can easily interweave the two together. And as a foodie myself, I love to blog about places that I go out to eat and how they're relative to the community that I live in. I'm a huge community advocate. I'm very involved in my community, and I'm always supporting local businesses, local Little League teams, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts. When it's cookie season, I do landing pages for the Girl Scout troops, and then I blog about them and say it's cookie season. So there's lots of things you can come up with that will work in your neck of the woods. But let's take this one step further. Just posting it out onto let's say you pick a total of 3 places to put this content. Where else could you put it on your website? Christian, can you think of another place that you could put your blog posts that are not as readily seen right here on the website? I mean, you can access it right here, but how else could you use a blog post?
I mean, there's a couple ways. I like landing pages, maybe, just to kind of share it with the world and show them what you found. Landing pages can offer that customization as well, so it's not always having to deal with just the one topic. Maybe you find a blog this month about food, and the next month we go into our football teams, because I know you're a Rams fan, I'm a Chargers fan, and we talk about it, right?
Right. Maybe your blog post includes the NFL upcoming schedule, or a seasonal schedule, and you include that, because this URL in the landing just can go anywhere. And this is simply a registration type page. You're really asking them to sign up to register here. So your headline here could be something like, I'm starting a local sports fan club for the whatever team. Sign up to get local information about it. And you just get a landing page, have them sign up here, redirect them over to the blog that you posted. Now you've used that blog really creatively. You've repurposed it. How about something as simple as this? Christian, how about if they went to their profile and maybe just once a month, maybe twice a month, they go into their email signature and add a hyperlink here for a link to their most recent blog?
That's a brilliant idea. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, embedding or inserting a link to the blog is brilliant, because then whenever you send out an email, be it one that you manually sent out, or maybe it's just from an automated email from kvCORE. But the nice part is that, hey, you're guiding the leads right back to your blog and getting traffic there. And hopefully just building up that traffic, getting more eyes on it, getting more views, getting more people to see it, share the information, show it to their friends, show it to their family members, all of that stuff.
100%. And it's going out on every single email, every single one of them. How about taking this blog post and putting it in an email and then scheduling it to go out to everybody? I also like to think of these blogs as mini newsletters. If you're not ready to undertake doing an entire commitment of a monthly newsletter, but you're blogging, you're really creating content that could be put in a newsletter. So you could easily add the blog into, let me go into the marketing section here. You could go in and create a scheduled mass email. And you can go right in here. Let's see, why am I not finding it on oh, here it is, right there in front of my face. You could easily incorporate your blog into a scheduled mass email. So if you're looking at this blog now as your mini newsletter that you're sending out about whatever topic it is, include a link to it over here. remember, you're driving traffic back to your website. So you could add this blog post over here. And because it's a permanent and stationary place on your website, you're creating that cross traffic that's going to be on your website as well. Okay, you're bringing people back that are getting your emails anyway, and people that you're connected to are more likely to open up the content that you send them because they know you, they like you, they trust you. So even if you're sending it out to your sphere of influence, if you're blogging about something, this is the holidays are coming up, right? And you might have a list of the local, best Christmas lights in town list, or the most decorated homes to see. Here's some great streets in this neighborhood that always deck the halls, right? That's great content. Put it in a blog post and then schedule an email to go out the first weekend in December. Done. That's a scheduled mass email. You can put that blog into a pre-existing smart campaign. So you could go into the smart campaigns and then just create a template, a simple email template, and then put a hyperlink over here to your blog post. Again, you're kind of creating that ecosystem where your source of truth is your website. That's where that blog is going to live. And no matter what medium you send it out on, whether it's through an email, through a scheduled mass email, through your email signature, whether it's anywhere, you're bringing traffic back to you, and you're bringing all that foot traffic. And now all those bots that are searching for SEO, they're seeing that cross traffic as well. So to me, it's really a bigger topic than just how to blog. It's really about how to repurpose the content you have. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can simply use something that you're already doing. I tell you what, here's a good challenge. Go to the last squeeze page you built, because remember, we store those squeeze pages in your history section of the squeeze page builder. Go in here to the history. If you've done a squeeze page before, and repurpose it by copying the link that's here. I did one here for, I think this was, what was this? This was Carlsbad pool home buyers. I did a squeeze page link of all the homes in Carlsbad that were under $500,000. I could go blog about it, copy the link, go over to quick actions, create a quick blog post. And what's my blog post going to be about? It's going to be, homes in Carlsbad under $500,000 that have a pool. Homes in Carlsbad under whatever it is, 500. I don't know how many there are. That's kind of an expensive area, but I might just put 500K with a pool. And maybe this is my whole blog post, and I just copy this, put that here. Maybe I'll just do it in a big old header, and then hyperlink this, and maybe add just one nice little photo of a pool home, because I'm going to upload it here, and I'm done. Now I've repurposed that squeeze page that I built. This is my challenge to you. If you've already built squeeze pages, is now go blog about it. Create some foot traffic. Once you've created this, then take the link for it, because remember, it's going to be in your blog post. Grab the link for it. And instead of giving Facebook all that foot traffic, do a post that leads people back to your website. Go into Twitter and add a nice graphic, and then put a link that sends people back to your website. Do it in LinkedIn. Know your audience, know who you're blogging to, and then just repurpose the content that you already have. No sense in reinventing the wheel, right, Christian?
100%. Yeah. Just don't break what's not broken. Or I'm sorry, don't fix.
Yeah, don't fix what's not broken. That's exactly right. All right. So that's my next level on blogging. And, because sharing on social media, it does bring in value. It brings in value to you as that local area expert. It brings in value for, just staying current on topics, as well as, posting regularly. And it's not going to hurt the SEO value of your website. So I think everybody should challenge themselves to at least blog once a week. Or next time you do a landing page or a squeeze page, throw it in a blog as well. Christian, any questions coming in? I want to make sure we don't miss anything.
It doesn't seem like too many questions have come in, but guys, we'll definitely open up the floor if you have any questions. In general, no worries, Alyssa. This is actually going to be posted to our YouTube channel. And also we're going to have this posted to our Facebook page so you can review it for later. Just highly recommending this, because this is actually going to be part of a new series that we're putting out almost on a daily basis here, with next level strategy for different topics. So tomorrow, same time, I'm going to be here. Kelly's not. She's going to go off and do some other training. But Christina is going to be visiting us tomorrow. And then the day after that, we have Ryan. So this is actually really exciting for me because, one, I'm getting to learn how all of my other trainers kind of learn and use this system. So this is kind of cool for me. I'm kind of lucky with that.
Yeah, you are. Look at you with all this, getting all this great stuff.
Yeah, but on top of that too, the video series that we're putting out as well is going to have some chapters for you guys. So it's not like, fully like an hour long that you have to sit through if you want to just jump to a part like what Kelly was showing off here today with. What I can say is, the blogging, the aspects behind it, the ideas and everything you can take along with it as well. The nice part is that these videos are going to be there for you guys from time to time. You can share it, use it again, review it, and I'm actually probably going to come back and watch this maybe 2 or 3 more times, Kelly. Not just because I have to, but in general, for the information that you saw there, I was busy looking at all of the stuff that you were kind of sharing, and if you're like me, you've already forgotten half of what Kelly's already said, and that's okay. I can't keep stuff like that in my mind too long. But in general, the information that she did share today, guys, is next level. Just not in general with kvCORE, but next level for real estate across the board. Okay. What we're talking about is what 99.9% of the agents out there are not doing. Okay.
That's right. If you want to differentiate yourself, these are the things that you need to be doing.
Yeah.
And I will tell you this, it does take some time, energy, and effort and consistency. So if you think that blogging once is a one and done for you, you may not get the results you're looking for. If that's you and that's not who you are, there are services like Core Social that will post on your behalf. So, there's always options. That's the cool thing about the marketplace, is that there's options for everybody. I personally like free. That's my favorite price tag. I tell everybody that. But there is definitely set it and forget it features that you can use to maybe enhance, maybe incorporate. Quick question, Christian, and you are a YouTube expert here. Mm-hmm. Is there a playlist for the open Q&As, or have we built that yet?
For now, not yet. We'll probably have one set maybe by the end of the week here. But in terms of these set list of videos for the next level sessions, yeah, we're going to have a playlist for them.
Cool. So what you're going to want to do is come into our YouTube channel and make sure that you subscribed and, ring that little bell right there. I think that will notify you if there's anything new added to the page. And keep an eye out on this playlist, because we're going to start adding all these open Q&As. So if you happen to miss one, or you want to come back and grab it, maybe share it at a team meeting, or for an upcoming sales meeting, or with your, just with other agents as well, you can always come in and dive in and get these replays later. So Michelle definitely will have this in here. Christian is our resident YouTube expert. He's going to be taking care of that for us. And in the meantime, does anybody have any thoughts, any questions, anything they, just something that's burning a hole in your head thinking, I wish I had the answer for this about kvCORE?
Yeah.
This is your time too.
You know what I like here is Ivy brought up a really interesting statement. She basically said, I didn't realize I could blog, or a blog could be anything other than real estate. And you know what? Don't worry, Ivy. Most agents don't either. But now that you know this, here's the thing. When you actually have a client, when you have a lead, when you have a conversation with one of these people, do you think it's 100% about real estate all the time? I think this is one of the coolest things about the real estate business, is that it's not just real estate. It's life. It's
right.
Where
it's
people
lifestyles.
live. Yeah.
And that's why, real estate is, as a real estate agent, I always tell people I'm in the relationship business. My job is to be a matchmaker so that I can match the right person with the home of their dreams. And in order to do that, I need to know a little bit about that person. Yeah. And the only way that they can feel comfortable in sharing that with me is to get to know me. So if you want to start by blogging a little bit about you, maybe tell people about your family, maybe tell somebody, share a little bit about why you went into real estate. Maybe take that bio section that you have in your profile, because remember that about me section that translates over onto your website as well. Maybe this is your very first blog and it's an about me type blog, getting to know me, and do a weekly series of things about you. And you can always pepper in tidbits about information. I will tell you this, some of the easiest content to post about is already built for you on your website in those areas we cover pages. So if you're just like, I don't even know what to put about real estate, I haven't done a squeeze page yet, I haven't done a landing page, where can I get content? Don't forget, you've got content right here under the areas we cover. So if you are that hyper local area agent in, let's just pick one out of the dark here because I got a bazillion on here. Let's say that it is Signal Hill. Say I'm that hyper local area agent in Signal Hill, and I can't think of a darn thing to blog about. Grab the link for this landing page. Remember, these are dynamic links. That means that as the market changes, as these homes get bought and sold, this content changes. So you can use this link over and over and over again, and you can blog about this. Thinking about moving to Signal Hill? Learn about Signal Hill real estate here. Check out homes for sale in Signal Hill. Use those dynamic keywords. Remember, we went over the keywords and how to find those yesterday on yesterday's session, and build those into your blog posts. And then just put a hyperlink over to this page. Done. Schedule it to go out in advance. Copy and paste it 5 more times so that it goes out every single Friday, because it's going to change. This dynamic page is going to change every Friday. So you might as well start with the content that's already there. So I've just given you a series to start off with. Tell people who you are, why you decided to come into real estate. Pick the local area that is in your market and create an about real estate page blog series and just post it over and over again. That consistency in and of itself is going to lend to your SEO. And who knows, somebody that you may not even have ever dreamed may stumble across your website and end up as a lead on your dashboard. The more of those squeeze pages you put in there, the better.
Very cool. Very cool. There is somebody, it looks like Trey McLean. It said he had a question about some smart numbers. Basically just wanted to give us some time to finish our topic with the blogging. But Trey,
absolutely. Trey, feel free. The microphone is yours. How are you today, Trey?
I'm doing great. And yourself?
I'm good. Are you learning a little bit about blogging today?
Yeah, that was actually really helpful. So I'm like brand new, so I'm just starting to learn the platform and just kind of getting every aspect of my business started. So I'm not necessarily sure how much time I'll be devoting to that with everything else that I have on my plate yet, but it's certainly something that that seems like another excellent tool that can be leveraged going forward. So that's good information.
Awesome. So, and you have questions about smart numbers.
Yeah, to that end. So, as I'm getting started, I have a background in one, app development, as well as two, working with other CMR systems that are organically built from another organization that I worked with and things like that. And so I recognize a lot of potential and power in the system. One of the things that I'm actually most impressed with is the potential of the smart number stuff. However, that being said, and I went on to the support page and I watched the webinar that had been sort of the overview of smart numbers and things like that. And I'm running into a little bit of confusion for myself about how to most effectively use that, because effectively what I'm seeing here is that the pros are, it's a very powerful dialer, an auto dialer that can track all your call activity. The ability to create the text codes with call to action is fantastic. Having it trigger in campaigns and auto text activity based on incoming things, that's fantastic. However, the problem is that it's really hard to make it forward facing if it's the office phone number, because I know for me personally, if I see a phone number and it says it's a traditional phone number, I
may call it.
I assume that I can call it. Now, of course, I know I'm going to put, I just actually made a post today for my first open house. Hey, text the address, or text, I made a shortened version of the address to this number. So I gave them the directions. But of course, I've been in situations before where it's I'm driving and I see the number or whatever, and I call it.
Yeah.
Right? So as a forward-facing number, though, and part of what's confusing is it's like, okay, well, on the webinar, you can get your own number, but there are downsides to that. And even on the webinar, I think it was maybe Terry, I want to say, I forget who was on that call. I think Christian was on that call, but then there was another gentleman, and he's like, you really don't need this. You really don't need your own smart number. And that's true. You don't need it if the lead is already in kvCORE.
In your database. Yep.
Exactly. But if it's not, then there's really no point. I shouldn't say there's no point. There is a limited return on investment to make your kvCORE number, your smart number, forward facing, because unless they text it with the text codes, it could go anywhere. And so then I totally understand. Okay, well, hey, after you make that contact, then you can have them add it. But again, for me, if I'm looking at it from a consumer basis, okay, so I'm going to reach out to you on your direct number because that's your forward facing number. But once I make contact with you, then you want me to contact you through another number. And you could have called me from that number, but you didn't have my number before. So because I mean,
I think you're number one, I think that you're well, let's see, how can I say this? For me, the way that I look at the smart number is it's like having a new work number. And it's a work number that is, it is shared by the other people in the office, but it's kind of like having a virtual receptionist that answers the phone for me. And so the only limitation that I have is not being able to put it on my business cards or get a great big old billboard ad or a park bench ad or a grocery card ad, something like that. If that's the capacity in which you want to use your smart number, then you should go get your own. 110%, you should go get your own, because you don't want to run the risk of losing out after investing all that money into forward-facing, consumer-facing marketing. And for that specific strategy, then you should have your own smart number. For everything else, because for me, it's the primary way that I manage my CRM. It keeps track of the conversations that I need to have kept track of, like communicating when I'm making phone calls, using the dialer. So for internally, the relationships that are going to bring me money are the people that I've already had that connection with. So I don't have any problem with that. What I also use it as a conversation starting method of reaching out and re-engaging with people. So that's why if they're already in my database, that's a standard practice that I have, is to send it out to people that may not have my smart number as another way to just communicate with me. It's almost like having a, Facebook Messenger is an alternative form of communicating with me. And if they're my people and I know them, I'm just offering them another solution to get a hold of me. They don't need to know anything about the fact that it tracks, all this stuff on the back end. But I do agree with your statement about using it as a marketing tool. And the simplest answer is to just get your own. And for an investment, I don't know where you can get a new phone number for $27 a month. And to me, that's a very low cost investment to be able to use that if that's your strategy.
Okay.
Yeah, but you're right. And it sounds like you've done your homework. I mean, you know all the pros and cons to it. There's two reasons that I got my own smart number. They were very simple. One, I did want to put it on my business card. I wanted it to be a way to actually create an automated follow-up with any new leads that I got. So I love the idea of being able to just capture their phone numbers. I wouldn't have to go scroll through my cell phone to try and find this person, add them to my CRM, set them up on a text campaign. It was done because I just had this smart number. And two is the text codes. This is the only other limitation that I know of, and Christian, feel free to jump in, is that these text codes, because you're sharing it with your office smart number, once you have what I call claimed the code, meaning like I claimed the word golf. Okay, that means if you were in my office, you couldn't also use the word golf because I've already claimed it. Now you could use golf 1, golf course, golf 2, whatever variation of it, but I've already used that word. And so I use text codes more than anything. And for the volume of leads that I get from a custom text code, I didn't really need that investment until I started realizing that other people in my office may have claimed the words that I wanted to use. That was really what it came down to, is because I love text codes. I put them everywhere. Yeah. Does that help? I mean, I know it didn't give you the answer you were looking for, but
yeah, I mean, it does. You know, I mean, it's kind of, I guess, what I thought the answer would be. It's
yeah.
just, it's unfortunate to me because it's such a powerful tool, and I know that having talked to my like my technology office manager, I know 80% of our office doesn't use it. So it's like it's this super powerful tool, but because
well, here's the thing: if nobody else uses the meaning, like they don't advertise with it, like using text codes or
no,
anything like
they
that,
just don't use it at all.
well, then,
just don't use it.
there are 3 ways to forward that number, and it's controlled by your broker or your admin, whoever the company admin is. And the 3 ways you can forward those new leads, one is to round robin them, which is the rotate through all the agents. Then everybody gets kind of a fair shot at it. Everybody gets a chance to get a new phone lead. The second way is to forward it to a specific number. So in, if you actually have a receptionist that sits in an office and answers phones for you, forward it over to the receptionist phone number or their cell phone or something like that. Sometimes it's the broker's number. Maybe the broker wants it to forward to their phone number. And then the third way is to have it sent to one agent. And maybe since you're the one that really wants to use it, maybe you be that agent that vets out leads. I don't know. You could talk to the broker about that, your broker, and find out how they would have it, how they have it set up. Find out, because maybe they have those new leads forwarded to a specific person or a different phone number.
Yeah, no, currently it's on the round robin. So, you know, but it's certainly worth the conversation.
Hey,
and
you never know,
like,
especially if you're that passionate about it. Maybe you come to an agreement with them that you'll vet out the new phone leads, and maybe you'll get a better commission, give a better commission splitter. I don't know. All sorts of ways to be creative with that. But that's a conversation for your broker.
Okay, I did have just 2 quick questions then. One question is, if I did choose to get my own smart number, and I had my own smart number, could there be any distinction between when a call is coming in, whether it, like, could I still see the contact but know it's coming from the smart number, or would it simply just show me that a contact is coming in because it's coming
So
from that
I
number?
can add to that there, Trey. So basically what's going to happen is you're still going to have your office's smart number as well. So the way it would work, though, is if that contact reaches out through that office's smart number, you're going to receive the call or the text through that number, which would then relay the information after that. So if it's just a call, it's going to say such and such lead is calling you, but you're going to see on the caller ID there that it's coming from the office smart number. So you know that the lead is calling that number. Following that, same thing with the text messages and vice versa. So if you get your own personal smart number, you're going to see if leads are dialing that one. So you can definitely use it as well as a track source. So you can tell yourself, oh, the leads that are calling my personal smart number are a lot more active, or vice versa. Maybe the office smart number is actually bringing you in what more business you need, or whatever it would be. But in terms of differentiating it, yes, you will be able to tell that whenever somebody calls that specific smart number and it goes to, say, you as the assigned agent, you will be able to tell which number is reaching out to you.
So like as a call is coming in, because like right now the way I have it set up is I have a Google Voice number, and then I have my personal number.
Okay.
And anybody who calls the Google Voice number, that's my forward-facing customer number. It comes in as a Google, it comes in on the Google Voice platform, but then it shows me who's calling, so I can also be prepared for that. But then if somebody calls on my personal number and it's a number I don't recognize, I know that I don't need to answer that because I'm only getting spam calls if it's a number I don't know from there.
Okay.
But I wouldn't, it sounds like I wouldn't have that capability because all it would be telling me is that it's coming from the smart number.
Yes.
Okay. The other second question that I had is there any way to have, since really the office number is a situation where for it to be forward facing really only makes sense with the text codes, unless my broker's willing to redirect everything to me or something like that. Is there any way to get a shortened, like, text only number so that it's very, very clear that you're texting that number? Because it seems like if that's the case, then that's really the only way to leverage it forward facing. And it would just be better to have a shortened number.
Yeah, for now, what I know what you're asking for is like a short code to dial. And with kvCORE, I do not believe that's something that you have access to at this time.
Okay.
Yeah. So and just so you know, and let's see if I go back in here, in the lead engine, you can also choose which text code,
Right. Yeah.
which number to associate it with if you have multiples. So if I
Right.
go create a new one, it's going to ask me to choose which smart number, because I've got two of them. I've got a team smart number, I've got an office smart number, and if I went and purchased my own, I would have a personal number. So you can actually pick and choose how you want these to route in as well. So
Right.
we're not going to do away with you're not going to be kicked off the office smart number team. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I think what's your best strategy? I mean, what do you want to use it for? That's really where you need to start. How do you want to use it? Do you want to use it as a side-by-side number, or do you want to use it for marketing? Because
I would want to use it as a seamless, this is my number, so that I can leverage the power of the system to track every call that I have and make every call out of it. And because really, like, that's just the most intuitive way to do it.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, Christian, but you can have your smart number also forwarded to a Google Voice number. Isn't that correct, Christian?
Yeah, it can happen. Yeah.
So if you want to use your existing Google number, but you want to use the smart number for it, you'd still have to purchase it. You have to purchase the smart number and then work with support to forward it to your Google Voice.
Yeah, but then in that case, like, I mean, yeah, you're right. It's still like, the reason I have it go to the Google number is because then I know it's coming from a number separate from my personal line, but I can also see the contact who it's coming from. If it's being forwarded from the smart number, all I know it's coming is that it's coming from the smart number.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Good questions. I love the smart number. I always tell people, it's a great way to re-engage with people. So if you haven't, for those of you that haven't shared your smart number with your database, because remember, these phone calls will get routed to you because they're leads in your database. You should be letting them know that you have a new way to communicate with them. On the off chance you need to get a hold of me, let me make sure you have my new work number. And so what I did was I just sent out a text message to everybody, and I created a template that just said something to the effect of, dear so-and-so. And remember, you can use merge tags in these things, hey, and then whatever that little fancy bracket's called. So you make it look personalized. Hey, so-and-so, this is Kelly with ABC Realty. Just wanted to make sure you had my new work number. In case you get a call or text from this number, it's just me, it's not spam. And so I use that as kind of a way to re-engage with all those people that were in my database that maybe didn't know that I had a smart number. And that way, if I called them from my cell phone or from the work number, they already had that information. Thanks so much, Trey. That was a good conversation. Well, it looks like we are approaching the top of the hour. Tomorrow, I know, is Christian's open Q&A. So Christian, do you have a preview? What are you going to be talking about tomorrow?
Oh, I believe actually it's Heather.
Is it Heather? Oh, yeah. That's right. It is. Heather's tomorrow. Awesome. Oh, Heather's awesome. Heather is one of our coaches here. So she always has some great advice. As a matter of fact, I might even sit in on that one myself. She always has good content. All right, everybody. Well, in the meantime, I guess it's time to hop off and go sell a house. So you know what? Have a great day. Christian, thanks so much for helping me out today. This recording will be available on the YouTube channel. And Christian, do you have the link? Do you happen to have the link for the open Q&A?
For tomorrow?
No, just the public link for this. So if they want to go back and catch those recordings.
Let me just grab it. Hold on one second.
Oh, thank you so much. Christian's going to pop a link into a public facing spreadsheet that we have where we also track all of these open Q&As. You might want to grab it and bookmark it before the end of before we hop off today, because if you ever miss one, you can hop on and grab those links there as well.
Yeah, this is a doc for today's recording, tomorrow's recording, the recordings here on after, as well as the ones before. And also it's highlighting all of our just quick start recordings. So if you're looking for some more guided, structured training, we do have the Agent Quick Start training parts 1, 2, 3, and 4 there for you as well. So plenty of training material. There's honestly,
this is what it's going to look like.
Yeah,
make sure that you tons of content in here.
Not to
no excuse not to get training. We got so much training around here. So today it looked like everybody's already on there, Christian. Looks like we got a bunch of people. So you're going to scroll down here to the bottom and you're going to go to the open Q&A recordings, find the trainer. As you can see here, we all rotate, we alternate. You can catch any of the Zoom recordings right here. And here's the link to our YouTube channel and our Facebook page. So please like and subscribe. Isn't that what they always say? Like and
Yep.
ring the bell. All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much. Steffi, thanks so much. Thanks for the kind words. Have a great day, everybody. Now hop off this webinar. Go sell a house. Have a great
Bye,
day.
everyone.